It's called Shepherds Junior. You can follow them at Shepherds Junior. And it was a school started by a Tanzanian woman called Mama Lucy, and she started it with 6 kids and basically a chicken coop that she used to fund the school. Since then, an organization called Epic Change is really big on Twitter. If you guys took part or heard about Tweetsgiving, that's them. And that event that just took place for a couple days was to raise money for this particular school. And that organization, Epic Change, Melissa and myself have gone over with them to partner with them on this particular project. I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to just talk a little bit about the origins of Twitter Kids and where this started. Because I'm really proud of my wife regarding this, and she doesn't like to ever mention it, but I do. So Twitter Kids, this concept actually started 2 years ago, where Melissa actually in New York City in Spanish Harlem, she did 2 years worth of research. Testing out using social media in the classroom. So getting kids blogging, getting them tweeting, with the purpose of, she's working with ESL kids. So basically foreign students, immigrants that come to this country that don't know English but are expected to learn math somehow and science. And Melissa realized that these kids are on MySpace and they're on Facebook. And if they go and they blog and they tweet, it's going to improve their English skills. So she did a couple years worth of research. She has a master's in ESL. And I helped her out a lot with that because I was very compelled by this idea of being a geek. And that was the work that she had done for the Department of Education. There was a lot of recalcitrance, so no one in the DOE actually thought it was a good idea. They tried to block Twitter, MySpace, Facebook at every turn when she was doing this. And she was doing this 2 years ago with Twitter, like no one even knew what it was. So fast forward to today, about a year ago, it was at the 140 conference in New York. I got to meet Stacy Monk, who's the founder of Epic Change, and I got to talk about what Melissa had done in Spanish Harlem with these kids, using blogging and Twitter to teach them English. And that kind of resounded with her. She thought, man, what a cool idea. So the next time that they did a trip, which was this last October, I got a random call, and I follow Stacy, so I mean, we kind of tweet back and forth all the time, but she called me and said, hey, do you think Melissa would be willing to adapt that curriculum for the third world and adapt it for these kids in Tanzania? And at the time, both Melissa and I were looking at ourselves like kind of shocked by that because of what, of those 2 years. And so Melissa took the time to redevelop the entire curriculum for Tanzania for kids who never use computers, who do not have internet access, and taking it from that level to 2 weeks later where they would be tweeting and blogging all on their own. So we'll just jump right into it. So day one, to give you an idea of what we're dealing with out there, day one, no electricity in the school. So we show up, and it's a beautiful school, and I mean, Mama Lucy's really done something with it, but there's no electricity whatsoever. On day two, electricity and internet were installed in the same day. So that's kind of the confluence of events. I mean, we're coming here like no electricity, and this is what they're used to, and then day two, boom, you get electricity, and light bulbs come on, and internet. So anyways, I'll let Melissa take it from here.
Yes, so when we thought about the curriculum and how we could get these kids to actually get online and understand what they were doing, we had 3 ideas in mind, and the first one was to actually connect them with the rest of the world. Where they live it's not in slums or anything, but their parents don't have cars, and they're never really going to be able to travel outside and go on vacation. So we thought that we could use Twitter to connect them with the rest of the world. The second thing that we thought was that we wanted to give the kids a voice. These kids are brilliant. They're super, super smart, and we put them on Tumblr so that they could start blogging and start telling their own story. And our last thing was we really just wanted them to be able to create their own content and tell their story. So,
you can see Phineas was a big man with the camera. So we brought a lot of content creating material. So I brought like a flip cam, we had ZI1, and we kind of, as the weeks continued, while we were out there, we were out there for about 2.5 weeks, we got them like creating their own stuff and uploading it to their blogs, which was pretty incredible. One cool thing, let's talk about specifically like the curriculum that we use. But one cool thing we did is we thought, well, when we go out there, we have to partner these kids up with Twitter users here. Because if not, there's not going to be anyone tweeting at them, and that'll kind of defeat the purpose.
Sort of like the next generation pen pal.
Exactly. And that was the idea that came up, you know. So we asked Jeff and a bunch of our Twitter friends to jump on with these kids and to commit to partnering up with them for at least these 2 weeks, if not further, so that there would be someone on the other end of that conversation. We could show them what we're talking about. And some of our friends actually sent the kids gifts.
Well done, Gary. He's everywhere. He's in Tanzania.
Cracked up. I saw it. For everyone who follows Gary out there, it was like, we just saw this. Honestly, the funny thing is, this was on one of the kid Gideon's blog. So like that's how I found out about it. Gary had said it, and we're like, oh wow, crush it, awesome. But having said that, it is actually a big thing. To give you an idea, these kids now they have computers, but they don't have books. So they have computers that they can access to tweet and blog, but they don't have a library. They literally have maybe 15, 20 books for the entire school. It's 300 kids.
Yeah, so before we actually got them onto Twitter, we had to explain to them what it is, because they haven't used the internet, so they're not even sure what it is. So we went offline first. So we had them write status updates on 3x5 cards, and then take them to the wall so that they could visualize a Twitter stream, so that when they actually went online, it would make sense. After that, we did physical at replies, where they wrote an at to somebody else in the class. We took them outside in the grass.
Wow.
They hand delivered them, and that was their physical at replies. Then we went online. So when we actually went online, it made sense to the kids. They actually got to see, okay, when I write a status update, this is what it looks like. It looks like our Twitter wall. And when I send an at reply, this is what it looks like when it goes to the other person.
Yeah, and it seems cute, and it is, but it kind of shows the brilliance of my wife, because she thought of that beforehand, before going out there, like, look, these kids don't know it, so let's start from base one.
Wow.
And there was about 2 or 3 days worth of like physical, like passing around these things, because if not, they would have never been able to conceptualize the internet, having never used it. Okay, so a good example of kind of the cross-cultural, because a lot of people ask, like, what are the pragmatic benefits? There's lots of pragmatic benefits, notwithstanding the fact that their English gets better every time they use it on tweets or blogging. Also, the learning that goes on. So this is a great example of some great cross-cultural interaction. Jessica Gottlieb, who's a mommy blogger, got involved in this project kind of towards the middle of it, and she asked Gideon, one of our kids, what was his favorite food, and Gideon replied, chapati, and she had no idea what the hell that was, and neither did we until we were eating it. And then she replied back to Gideon with this, where she kind of said, chapati looks delicious, and she gave him a Wikipedia link. And to a kid who has no idea what Wikipedia was, this blew him away. And I was actually there when he got this tweet, and when he was like, what's that? It's blue. Because the link was, it was like he had never seen a blue link, blue words. So then he clicked on it, and it took him to Wikipedia about this article on chapati, and he saw chapati, and he saw how to cook it, and all these really interesting things. And for him, it was blow away. And for her followers, it was blow away too, because now they get all this knowledge about chapati, which they would have never had anyway. And it's a silly, it's a small example, it's a microcosm of the greater kind of sharing that and interaction that Twitter can enforce. Yes, we'll go on to the blog.
Yeah, so after we introduced them to Twitter, we got them on Tumblr, which I'm sure everybody knows what it is, but it's a microblogging platform for people who don't have time to blog. So we figured it's perfect for the kids. They can upload pictures, videos, audio. It's just a really easy way for them to get their voice out there. So I think, we have a couple examples. They just write about what they're learning,